What's going on? I'm actually doing a screenshot of a comment that's pretty, oops, dang it. That one I can trash. Try that again. A comment that's a negative. I don't get many negative comments, which is fine. Mainly because I have it set for approval. Hey, Roger. Hey, Bob. Hey, John. Um, uh, but anytime I get a negative one, I screenshot it so that I can, because everything mostly is positive. But every time I get a negative one, I screenshot it. So if I do a Tom reads his comments kind of thing, I'll do it. I wonder if David Sillers is going to be on. I was just reading David Sillers' oh no, David Salkin. Oh, that's David Salkin. Oh, that's the one in New York. David Sillers is in. Uh, yeah. So David, I think, has been trying to catch up. He's the one. I think he's a chiropractor in New York, and he was one of our first regular viewers. And I'm in Dadgad right now, and I knew that. So don't take a sip. I need to move my light a little bit. Hold on. I shot a new TikTok video yesterday, and TikTok is funny. I don't know. It's like TikTok is almost all negative We're not all negative comments, but just a lot of snarky comments. It's like, well, yeah, Eddie Van Halen did that like back in the '80s, dude. I know, and that's why I'm showing it to you. It's like I don't care who did it. You know who else did that? So I didn't say who did it. I just showed you how to do it. I'm not trying to claim credit for it, but it's just funny. It's really, really well. It's easier to do this way, and great. And how many followers do you have? Oh, 3? Okay, good. So anyway, it's just. I guess I could do replies to some of these. I see people do video replies to comments on TikTok. That I'm not going to start getting into. In fact, I very rarely do TikTok. When I first started the TikTok a couple months ago, I did a bunch, and then I'm doing like one a month now or something like that. Not very often. Just trying to show tricks or because you can only be at most 60 seconds, so TikTok is a little bit difficult. I don't think I'm going to do the Roomba Groove today. I may save that for Friday. I want to have some diagrams for that, and I have to go. I have to stop at 10 o'clock because I have to pick Beth up at the airport. So, fortunately, she's only flying into Burbank and not LAX, which, since COVID, LAX hasn't been horrible, but it's still not. Burbank's a lot closer to where I live, so Burbank's like the Hooterville Airport from Petticoat Junction. It's a cute airport. And the great thing about Burbank Airport, my favorite thing about Burbank Airport, is that when you get on the plane and get off the plane, they roll up the staircase. So you actually go outside to get off the plane. And whenever I get off the plane in Burbank, I always stand at the top of the staircase and wave. And sometimes I'll do it on the way into the plane, like the president would do. And I even tell people, total strangers on the staircase, I say, hey, everybody, we got to turn around and wave. Just like the queen or the president or something. So I'm a Dadgad. I was kind of goofing around. Dadgad could be minor too. Because there's no third in a Dadgad tuning, so. But I'm going to go back to standard tuning. So we're gonna work a little bit more on some 16th note feels. And so let's see who we have. Hey Tal, what's going on? Wits End, good to see you. Holly, thank you for being there. Are you the only moderator so far? I guess what's his name? Bruce. Bruce has come. I thought Bruce has come back today, but maybe it's Friday he's coming back. Yeah, TikTok is another social media thing. It's really more of an app on the phone than anything. I kind of like it better than Instagram in some ways. You can follow, you can follow people. You can either, they talk about politics, but it's also like just people being goofy or funny. So it's kind of lighthearted, a little bit more, and not that Instagram isn't, but Instagram is almost more. It seems more about showing off, like, oh, look where we are, or look at my new car, or look, I'm getting a vaccine. I haven't seen anybody get a vaccine on TikTok, but on Instagram, it's like all my friends like, here I am getting a vaccine. Congratulations. That's all right, Holly. You're more than capable. Hey, Semper Virens. Good morning. Oh, Jack Lloyd. Oh, it's Jack Lloyd. Okay, sorry. I'm like, who the heck is that? Hey, we got a newbie. Everybody jump on him. Hey, newbie. All right, so so the Roomba thing, I need to create some rhythmic notation for that, so that I can put it up here. Also on Friday, I am going to be live on a game composers chat thing. So I'm going to I'm going to be talking about different instruments that I play in different games or movies or TV shows, stuff like that. So I'm probably going to have a lot of instruments out. I don't know if I'll have them out Friday morning before, but that'll be at 1 o'clock Pacific time. I think. I hope. I better check the Twitter because they posted. Let me make sure it was 1 o'clock Pacific, not 1 o'clock Eastern. Broadcasting. Excellent. Does it say when it is? Oh, they're doing it on Twitch, which I do have Twitch. I'm not sure how I don't think it'll be logged in through Twitch. I'll probably go through YouTube. I'm not sure how we're going to do it, to be honest. We'll figure it out. The last time I did it, it was, I think, Zoom. Or no. It was Google Meet. Meet or Meets? Google whatever. I don't see a time on this, but I'm pretty sure broadcasting live this Friday. He texted me. He messaged me. Make sure. For Friday at 1 p.m. Okay, yeah. So I think all the guys that are in this group are all on the West Coast. So the one thing to note, I was doing some research on rumba grooves, and I think we will try to do some on Friday. They're kind of fun, and they're not great on acoustic because because steel strings are really hard on the nails, and you're going to be using the nails. Nylon strings are much better for it. I think also, though, in the process, I will, because we talked about chord progressions, right? This is a perfect example, perfect opportunity. I think I saw Lena, but Lena was asking, what are specific chord progressions? Let me grab the Discord link. What are specific chord progressions for different styles of music? And so, there is no rule like that. I could say, remember I always say in the 50s it was 1-6-4-5 progression. In the 90s there was a lot of 6-4-1-5 progressions, I think. Here's the Discord link. And so, there are definitely progressions. Well, in rumba, there are definitely some progressions, or in particularly in flamenco music, there's definitely some progressions that tend to populate much of their songs. They tend to go by region. Flamenco music is great that way. It's very regional in all the different styles of playing, and oftentimes the chord progressions, and even sometimes the capo positions are dictated oftentimes by what region of Spain, or Andalusia even more specifically, which is kind of the southwestern part of Spain, is where Granada is, and what are some of the other cities. But the fields are actually named after those regions, the different styles. So I think it would be really fun or interesting to go to Spain and then spend a couple days in each one of those cities and see lots of live music and see if there was a difference in the music. I mean, now it's probably not. It's probably much more vanilla and common. There's probably a lot more crossover. Back then, there were times where, your entire life, 200 years ago, 100 years ago, whatever, you'd never leave your region. I mean, but now everybody's flying everywhere all over the world. So those kind of things tend to cross-pollinate and kind of morph into other things. I doubt that it's going to be as specific or as different per region as I would hope it would be. But Sam, what's going on? Good to see you. Now I'm doing harmonic minor scale. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Quick question, Tom. When using an electronic tuner to tune an electric guitar, is it better to tune on the neck pickup or bridge pickup? I think the bridge pickup's a little bit more consistent. The string's going to vibrate a little bit more here in the neck pickup, so you're probably going to get a more solid, predictable pitch here at the bridge. However, that said, if it's going to be fluctuating and you want to make sure you capture those fluctuations, then maybe the neck. But generally, I use the bridge pickup when I'm tuning an electric guitar through my rig. It seems to track faster, like it'll lock onto the note faster. If I put it on the bridge pickup, neck pickup, sorry, it tends to search a little bit longer, maybe a second longer. So it's a time saver to go to the bridge. We talked about, one of the things about rumba though is generally it's just eighth notes. Like one of the patterns is, there's something happening on every eighth note. And one of the patterns I was looking at today was, so that's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and this one, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. It's also eighth notes, essentially. I mean, you're maybe only hearing 6 strums. Nothing. You're hearing a kick here. You're hearing strum, 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 and then a snare here. Strum, strum, strum. But something's happening on every eighth note. If it may be a mute. There's also a thing called a golpe, which usually that means hitting generally your ring finger. I guess it could be your pinky, but on the top of the guitar. And one of the things you try to get down on flamenco guitars is doing a downstroke with the first finger and doing a golpe with the ring finger. So you're hitting the strings with your first finger at the same time you're slamming the finger on the top of the guitar. That's why flamenco guitars typically have pick guards. Now, that one does, you just can't see it. They're clear. Hear that? And hear this? So what that kind of does is that allows you to get kind of a snare hit on a strum. See, normally, like if I were to do a snare hit, I might mute the strings and get no pitch. Ooh. We're not going to put any golpes in the... and I'll wait. I thought I saw Lena on here. Lena, are you there? Oh yeah, you're there. Okay. Well, I can give you this progression. Okay, I'm going to give you a progression to practice. The couple variations. Basically, it's going to be A minor to G to F7. It's got bar chords, so if you're not good with bar chords, it's going to be tough. To E with a flat 9, and then the other one. This other one would be A minor. Oops. A minor to G7 to F7 to E with a flat 9. Okay, so basically the same progression. The only difference is a G7 instead of a G. And so those chords, A minor would be here, G is here, F7. Hear that? That beautiful 7th is great. And then there's the E. So you can play E like this, and you slide up your 3rd finger to this 3rd fret, you get an E chord with a flat 9 on it, and add an F. You put an F in there. So it creates very haunting, a very Spanish flavored chord there. It's interesting when you go from the F7, which has an E flat in it. It's fun to follow that string. It's like, what? That's what's happening on that string. If you go to G7, it's even, I think, almost more interesting. So you got this. Really interesting. You could go to just plain old E too, but you can practice that chord. And then A minor is 5 7 7 5 5 5. And you could do this. Hey, Bruce is here. How's it going? What's his name here? Yeah, what's his name? So you were lurking. Ha! You wanted to see if I was going to talk about you. How was your trip? See, you go away for a weekend and I forget your name, man. My wife changed her hair color. I wouldn't recognize her, so. Yeah, flamenco guitars use nylon strings. Flamenco guitars are very, very similar to classical guitars. Some of them have peg tuners, which I really don't like. So my flamenco guitars, it's also they tend to be made of different wood. I'm trying to think of what the name of the wood is. Somebody's going to know it, but a harder, brighter wood. They also tend to be slightly narrower. Okay. And my guess is that it's a brighter instrument. It's a little bit more immediate. Like a classical guitar, sonically will have this. I should bring out both, but I don't know that the subtle, very, very subtle nuances between the two would be noticeable through my iMac microphone, and through the internet live streaming. But it's warmer. It's a little bit. I would say just slightly like delayed, not like you can hear it click, like boop, boop, like a delay like that, but it's just not as in your face. A flamenco guitar is a little shallower, so the sound goes from the string to the back of the guitar and out the sound hole a little bit faster. From the bridge to the back of the guitar out the sound hole, just that much faster because it has less distance to travel, not only this way but that way. Because it's narrower and it's pretty minimal amount. It's like millimeters. But that combined with the type of wood they use and the style that you tend to play makes it a much brighter percussive instrument. And the reason is usually it's a flamenco guitar is the only instrument, but there's someone with castanets dancing with metal taps on their shoes, and there's someone singing. So it's intended to be an accompaniment. Whereas classical guitar is oftentimes, so it's supposed to be a solo. You've got to kind of cover all the bases, the bass and the cello and the viola and the violin parts. You got to cover all that, but you're the whole orchestra a lot of times on classical guitar. But in flamenco, you're really a rhythm machine. You're kind of keeping the whole thing going, and that's where all the feels come from. Rumba, though, I think has its origins in Africa, but so much of the flamenco music also has its origins in the Middle East. Because the guitar was largely the oud, was the father of the lute, which was the father of the guitar, and so probably the Spanish guitar had its origins in the very closely related to the oud and Middle Eastern because of the Moors' occupation of Spain for 800 years. Was that right? Somebody know their history? I think it was 800 years. So there's a huge influence, and you can see it in the architecture in Spain and all that too. So. Even in the color of their skin in Spain. Certain regions have darker skin color, which would probably be from generations of, of Moorish influence from the Middle East. So I just find it fascinating. So any of those rumba feels, they're going to be just bunch of eighth notes. So we're not going to have to learn any syncopations, which we really haven't done yet. Okay, we're not touching on syncopations yet. But we are talking about accents, which are coming on syncopations. Now, if we go back to E chord, which I really like because you can hit all 6 strings, and then we can, if we want to change, we can go to the E sus. In fact, that would be a good one where if you just start accenting the downbeats, it's a start. You start to figure out how to accent. And again, I'm holding my pick very loose. Down, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the free range groove that I do, remember, it accents every third stroke for the first 3 beats. Because if I did every third stroke, that's great, but we have 16 strokes, and 16 is not divisible by 3. So at beat 4, we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do. Sometimes I will just accent beat 4. Okay, you should be looking down here at this, right here at this pattern. Okay, sometimes I'll just accent beat 4, and sometimes I'll accent beat 4 and the and of 4. So it's like that, 4 and 1 or 4 E and like that. But if you were to count three beats, okay, so 1 E and then that's 3. The next group of 3 starts on of 1, right? 1 E and and then that count 3 from there, to E. The next one is on the and of 2, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this this rhythm with accents on those particular accents. But what I usually do is I start with 1 E and 2 E and we get that one and then 4. So we're going to practice accenting just downstrokes at this point. We're going to do 1, we're going to do the and of 2, and we're going to do 4. And it's a very, very common pattern. In fact, let's see, could I do a drum groove? I probably wouldn't do a drum groove that did that because I wouldn't want to, I wouldn't do a kick pattern that does that. Let's see. Let me drag this over here. Oh, turned off the speaker. Hold on. 100, no, 110. Okay, so let me record. It's just basically T, 4, 1, 10. Hear that? Okay, I don't know if you can hear that kick. Let me turn up a little bit. Okay, now I got to quantize. That was a little, wasn't too bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay, I'm going to loop that so we get. You can hear the click too. Clicks on every beat. 1, 2. Okay, I'll put the hi-hat on 8. Oh wait, we got 60. Let me change. Let me take the kick. I'm gonna pull it back a little bit. I'm gonna. Oh, I get. Okay, so hi-hat's hotter. Okay, so. Okay, so that's going to be 16th notes. I'm going to go ahead and put 16th notes on here. Check this. 2, 3, 4. All right, let me quantize that. So those are perfect. No swing, no feel, nothing. It's just pure 16th notes. Okay, but that's what our arm's going to be doing. That's the speed of our arm. Now, if I slow down the tempo, 100 is pretty fast. If I go down to 85, say, for example. Okay. Now, remember I said we're going to do an accent on 1 and the end of 2. Well, that's what the kick is doing. I'm going to mute the hi-hat for a second. Okay. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and. But I also said we're going to do 4. Well, I could just put snare on 4. That would sound kind of like a halftime feel. Check this out. Okay, so I'm going to unmute the hi-hat. I don't know if that might work with a 16th note hi-hat, but check it out. See, I'm just going to make that nice bright snare there. 2, 3, 4. Okay, late on those, but let me quantize. Okay, I'm going to go up to 100 though. That's awful slow. It's a little. This will be a little slower than 110, obviously. So if I wanted to, I could do like a. I could do a little kick into that too. Watch this. Right? That's a rock feel right there. I muted it, so it's not there now. Okay, so see if you can move your hand that fast. You can mute the strings. Try to match that. Pretty much try to hit all the strings. Try to match that hi-hat. Remember, I got to go at 10 o'clock, so we'll stop in a half hour. Now, if you want, we can try to make an E chord. I go to E sus, so you can hear where 1 is. So the snare is on beat 4 too. Okay, now normally you might hear 2 and 4. Oh, sorry, let me take off the click. We don't need that anymore. With all those 16th notes, we don't need 8 quarter note clicks. Okay. Now, let's just hit the accents. Okay? So with me, we're going to go E to E sus. It's going to be like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. say the snare tuners do eat up the batteries pretty fast though. Always putting batteries in there. I miss my IntelliTouch tuner. It's just not bright enough. You can't see it. Let me turn off the drums. Kind of maddening. I do like that kick though. That I did. I'll put that back in quick. Where is it? Undo. There we go. And then the other thing that might happen on that might go to an open hi-hat. So that, like I said, the drummer might open their hi-hat a little bit there on the and of 4. So check this out. Right? Sometimes the drummer might hit a tom with the snare. So I could do that. Let me see. I don't want to do a huge hit on the tom. Wait, what did I do there? That's weird. All right. That's a really hard hit. There we go. Let's see what that sounds like. Now, I have one of my favorite 16th note feels that I do is basically pretty much even 16th notes. Like this. I'll put a snare hit on 2 and 4, so it sounds like this. I talked about this in one of my videos. I call it the hi-hat groove. What I do there, though, with this one to make it like a hi-hat is if you listen to this bar of the drums, let me just do this. Just going to loop this one bar here. I'll get rid of this. Let's see, wait. So let me do another snare hit and then I'm going to put, let's see. Oh, wait, that's not right. That's what I do. I do this. Well, this is all, I'm messing up the whole groove now. You're totally messing it up. All right. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up, in my head, my mind, in my strumming pattern, I'm going to open up that 16th note right before the snare hit. Hear that? Now I feel like, me. I don't know. For some reason, it kind of evokes a Simon and Garfunkel feel. I should listen to some of his. Paul Simon's a great songwriter and a really, really good. Okay, yeah, I should listen to some of his their 60s songs to get some great strumming feels. A lot of songs were fingerpicked, but that one is. So I'm going to write out some of these so that you can see them, I'll use finale. I don't know if I can change the note head to an X. So on beat 2 and 4 there, what I would try to do if I were handwriting it, I would make those note heads, instead of the slashes, I would make them X's, and that would signify a snare hit like that. Yeah, no, it's true. I don't know why the snark tuner just it must not have an auto turn off mode or something. It should though, but it's just totally dead. And I just put a new battery in it, so that's the only negative with a snark. I really miss these. They don't make these anymore, but these are great. I have a bunch of these, and I generally, Holly, I've just gotten to the point where I keep them in every case. The only problem is the batteries go dead. So, not every case, but my main acoustics and my classical guitar, I have one in each one of those. And then I have a tuner in my rig. So when I'm playing electric live, I don't need a tuner. And then I do have the tuner app on my phone, but the one I have is. And the microphone doesn't work anymore because it's the old, doesn't have a mic in anymore on the phone. But I've got the Strobo Soft, which is a strobe tuner. And it's very precise. Anybody remember strobe tuners from band camp? And it's always plenty bright enough. All right, so yeah, Paul, that's true. Yeah, and I'm moving a little quick here on some of these things. So really, what I want you to try to do is just try to get that 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and change chords. It could be any chord, but you could go G. And 3 E and 4 E and practice slow to learn fast, right? And 1 E and 2. Now I think the Strobo Soft one that I have was $10. So it's not a free app, but at least they keep it updated. So every time the phone updates, it seems to work. But if it ever didn't, or they wanted me to buy it again, I would just get a free one. And so much of the accenting thing is really, and what the feel I really like the free range groove is, like I said, accenting every third, and that sounds like this. Which is that big Western kind of, let's get on our horses and gallop across the desert, but kind of vibe, and so ultimately the best way to get to that place where you can play a groove is to feel it, not think it. Thinking always, I don't know, maybe if thinking always feels like you're kind of working your way up to it, and feeling it just feels like, okay, you're settling down into it. But you got to get to the point where you know where you are. And that's where playing with the drums and other musicians or whatever, and you could even, like on this groove here, I could create a bass part that was like G to E minor, so I could go, and that on the accents. So if you have, Paul, if you have MIDI capability, you could. So there's our quantize. That was early, as usual. Okay. By doing that, you're creating something that is here. Let me get the windows in order here. You're creating something that will really help you start to hear the pattern and the accents. Okay, where that bass is. Boom, boom. That's the 1 and of 2, 4, 1, 2, and 4. Boom, boom. Okay. The other thing we could try to do is, just that if you start there, if you get those accents, you're halfway to the free range groove. Because the free range groove really only has 2 more accents. You're getting 3 of them there. The problem is those 2 accents are on upstrokes with the 16th note pattern. So let me play this, and then let's try clapping together. We can hit the top of the guitar. Be a feel that you're going to want to be able to play the accent there, and then I could create another one that would be more like say, let's see, if I wonder what this would sound like. So if I put an accent on those like that, and then go up an octave for these 16th note ones. See what this sounds like. Yeah, that's very complex sounding. But that's essentially the rhythm that we're going to be ultimately getting on the free range group. We get it down. But start there. At the very least, to be able to start to hear that rhythm. Yeah, GarageBand is great. You can totally use GarageBand. And experiment, mess around. You can't make, you can always hit undo on GarageBand if you mess up. And so the pattern that I did was kick on 2. On 1. The end of here. I can do a screenshot of the drums. Let me chop the drums up here. Do a screenshot and put it up here so you can see it. Let me get rid of the double kick thing in the hi-hat opening. So just this. Okay. So let me do a little screenshot. And maybe this will help. So this is 2 bars. All right. So this is what the Midi looks like. All right. So that top line is the hi-hat. You can see it's solid 16th notes. You can see the grid. You can even see the piano keys. If you look at that, you see the 2 black keys. The hi-hat's written on the 3 black keys. That's how you know where to play on the piano. You can see the names of the instruments. Okay, you see that? So if I go to the totally different lesson than I expected to be giving. It's not unusual though, is it? But there's the kick. You can see C1. If I go up a chromatic to the C sharp, there's a snare side stick, snare center, hand clap, rim shot, which is the one I'm using. It's a nice punchy low tom, hi-hat closed, okay, low tom, hi-hat pedal, mid tom, hi-hat open, and so forth. There's crashes and other things up there. But you can kind of see the pattern. You can see the kick on the bottom there, boom. In fact, let me play the groove again, and you can watch it. Let me get rid of the bass. So if you have, like I said, if you have a Mac, you can create it just using this kind of pattern here. This very simple pattern. Oh, come on. I'm doing the wrong windows. Here we go. And those You see where the snare rim shots, those are big red notes. And the different colors are just how hard I hit it. So if it's green or purple, it's really soft, but green is softer, red is the hottest. Oh dang, it was 35 degrees. Well, you're loving the warmth now. Okay, so that's visually MIDI wise. This is MIDI data here. This is MIDI information is how I program that groove. And you can see where the accent. Now the only thing I didn't capture, which I probably should have, was the bars. That's two bars of music there. Okay, if you count the vertical lines going down, and if you count the 16th notes, you'll see that there's 32 of them right there. Actually, there's 33 because I didn't cut off the downbeat of the next bar. You can see bar 3 there, just that first beat. Okay. Anyway, that's so if you counted the top notes, I can drag this to the Discord, and if you aren't a member of the Discord, go ahead and join up. And you can download all of the images that I create for our live stream. I upload to the Discord, and it's the Tom's Lessons and PDFs. Okay, I think everything's up there. There we go. So there's that drum groove. So if you want to try to replicate that on some kind of MIDI thing, here's the thing. You go, I don't understand MIDI. I don't understand keyboards. Just start messing around with it. Just the hardest thing probably to learn is how do I enter data? If you don't have a keyboard, how do I enter data? Well, you can actually. I think it's if you just go to if you can open up a MIDI window. If I go, I think it's Command and then click. When I hit Command, my cursor turns into a pencil, and I just point it to where I want something. So now I've got, see? So, if I want to crash, where's that up here? Kind of worthless, but anyway. But yeah, so you can, once you learn how to enter data, then, you can just enter data and then you highlight it to delete it. Or you can, and then on the Mac, and that probably is true with GarageBand. I probably should have created these grooves on GarageBand. I use Logic, but if you highlight all the notation and you hit Q, it'll quantize to whatever grid you want it to quantize to. Do you want it to quantize to 16th notes, which is generally default, or do you want it to quantize to 8th notes? And then if you created a bunch of 16th notes, half of them are going to disappear because they're all going to move to the closest to 8th note. So I've done that before. I'm like, where did all my notes go? So request from Jeff Height. Can you say hi to Nico and Layla? Oh, your grandkids will freak out. Hi, Nico and Layla. It's funny because two of our worship leaders at our church are Nico and Nico. What's her last name? I can't think of her new. She just got married. And Dumas and Layla Hoyle. Layla, although Nico is my Nico that I know is spelled with 2 K's. And Layla, I know, is spelled Leyla. So a little bit different spelling, but sorry, Jeff, I didn't see that. Everybody's saying hi to Nico and Layla. So, okay, so let's see. Like I said, I have to leave at 10. I have to pick up my wife. Let me see. Let me make sure. Maybe her flight's delayed. Let me check. I'm doing a little CSI stuff here right now. Okay. All right. So we may keep going on this 16th note business though Friday, just because I'm going to create some. Um, oh, here we go. Oops. I'm going to create some 16th note patterns with accents. Oh shoot, she's already landed. Oh no. Dang it. Okay, I better go. So I will see you guys later. That's not unusual, but she's 25 minutes early. So all right. She just texted me. Dang it. Okay, I'll see you guys later. I'll see you on Friday. God bless you all. Bye bye.